What is up, everybody? So today we're going to talk about the Disc Priest in the War Within beta for PvP. I'm going to give you guys my overview on how I'm kind of feeling of it. We'll go over some of the changes, which is not really much, just the talents, the hero talents, and then just go over some gameplay after that to show you guys how it's working. So to start off here, in terms of changes, there really isn't any. There's no hero, there's no actually spec trade changes. There's like the only thing you have is the Rapture change, which is Rapture is no longer a time spell. It's your next 3 spell or shields. If you do talent into it, it's 5. It's currently bugged. It's giving you 5 all the time. The next shields are 80% stronger, and so you don't have to worry about like spamming it. It's good and bad. Like sometimes in Shovel Shuffle, when damage is so high, you're just spamming shield all the time. And it feels like now that's a nerf. But then also when you get micro CC'd on it and you don't get it off at all, it's nice that you still have it because it just kind of sits on you until you use it. There's no other changes otherwise. So the real changes are to look at the Oracle between the Oracle and the Voidweaver. So I'll start with Voidweaver first because that's what probably most people are interested in. Voidweaver is aesthetically very cool. Playstyle wise, kind of hard to tell. So currently the rift that spawns from your Mind Blast is definitely bugged because it hits everything. So if you look at like these games, let me get one of these other games. Where am I playing against pets? Hold up. Okay, here we go. So Rift hits everything. It hits every single pet. It hits every single totem. It hits everything, and it is healing off of everything. So that is a problem. So it's really hard to get a good grasp on the effects of the Rift. So like if I throw a Rift, it's hitting all of these imps, all these Fel Guards, all the totem. It's weird that it hits totems too. Like it'll destroy healing stream totems, which definitely doesn't seem right. And because of that, you're doing crazy amount of atonement healing and damage from it. So it is hard to see in terms of that. There are games where I was not doing that. So you know, this game even too. But even, I guess even without hitting pets, this one actually wasn't hitting pets at all, and it still does a lot of damage. So the gameplay is very similar to retail. All you're doing is just prioritizing, making sure you're getting those rifts off on cooldown, no matter what, and then just void blasting afterwards. So because of the talents, you're getting your smite turns into void blast. So you press the rift, you use penance after you press the rift to make it grow larger, which is this down here. So every time you penance, it grows a little bit larger and does more damage. And then after that, you want to Void Blast, because Void Blast does 100% extra atonement, and it also extends the duration of it up to 3 seconds. So you want to try to get at least 3 Void Blasts if you can in there. And that's about it. So then you rotational do that every 20 seconds. You're going to press Mind Blast, Penance, and then throw in spam Smite a couple times, and then go back to what you're doing. So that's kind of just the gameplay of it. So it's pretty plain and simple. I'll do it on dummy really quick so you can see. So if I'm in combat, I press Mind Blast, I press Penance, and then I Void Blast. And you see, that's about it. And if you can get multiple penances off, you can get it to grow a little bit larger. And then at the end of the rift, it will explode and pop everything. Do note though that the Shadow Covenant does scale with all of this, so it does bring up the value of the Shadow Covenant build a lot more than it previously, because you're getting 25% more damage on your rift, which is again most of your damage. So I think in general you're probably going to try to play Mindbender as much as you can. I also think that you may not need it completely. Maybe there's a new build that kind of comes out that's not Mindbender, that kind of goes down to like maybe just Void Summoner and not all the way down, or maybe just Shadow Covenant, because Void Wrath, which is like your new Shadow Fiend, is now a 2-minute cooldown versus 3 when you're not playing Mindbender, that is. So it kind of brings the value of that build a little bit. So I don't maybe there'll be some new builds that pop up, but in general, I think we're probably going to gravitate back towards the shield build, and then in 3s and then 2s you can play Mindbender. And then you're also going to have to think about the group of the grouping of the comp that you're versing, right? If you're versing double melee and everybody's stacked, you're going to get a lot more value out of these rifts, which means Mindbender's going to be a lot better versus kind of like the opposite of all casters and stuff, and you're probably going to be spaced out a little bit, and you're not going to actually get as much value out of it. So that's kind of the gist of a Voidweaver. So it definitely feels not bad, but the rift is kind of bugged overtuned, so it's kind of hard to get a grasp on that. When it comes to Oracle, so Oracle is pretty cool and boring at the same time, depending on how you want to look at it. So it works basically how you have premonition, so it's 3 spells and they rotate every time you press them. You're always going to start with, you're going to have 2 stacks to start always. So the first one you press, you're going to all your overhealing is going to be redistributed, and you get 6% passive healing, which is really nice. Redistribute to teammates. This is, in theory, seems really good for atonement because you overheal yourself a lot because you have atonement on yourself all the time usually, and even if you're not getting attacked, so the overhealing will kind of get redistributed. So it's not bad in terms of that. I didn't see too much on the meters from it, but in theory it seems like it should be pretty good. But regardless of it, the actual healing, you do get 6% extra healing on it. The second one is insight, so you get cooldown reduction. This part, it can be a little bit more min-max if you do want to. And it's kind of cool that you can use it to penance, right? So you can actually triple penance. So I'll put the insight on here, and then I'm gonna penance, and then I'm gonna penance, and then I'm gonna penance. And you can throw out like shields in between or something like that, maybe. So you can like penance shield, especially if you're playing Will and Woe, and it kind of give you a little bit buffed up shields. So that's a pretty cool component of it. And then the third one is Solace. So when you press this, your next healing spell will put a buff on the target for 10 seconds to increase their healing. And then the cool part is after the third one, you're immediately going to get Clairvoyance. So you don't want to double click this on accident. You want to make sure you're getting out your first Solace buff. So you want to press this, get Solace, put it on somebody with a Renew or a Shield or a Heal, whatever you want, and then press it again, and then you get all 3 buffs at once. So you're back to kind of doing the healing. And really the only one you have to make sure you're using the Solace first off, because if you're just doing damage all the time, you might forget to use your Solace. So the only part you actually have to think about is the insight for what spells you want to use, and then make sure that you're putting Solace on the right target. That's kind of it in terms of thinking wise. In theory, this one does seem like it would be the better 3v3 spec if targets are not clumped. So like I said with the Rift, if you have clumped targets, I think that's going to be the go-to, just because the Rift is so powerful and you're doing a lot of atonement healing off of it. But I think if you are kind of spaced out more and you're not able to cast during those Rifts, because if you can't get any Void Blasts off, Rift is not that great. You need to be able to empower it and kind of blow it up a little bit. Otherwise, I think Oracle probably will be the better choice, just because there's a lot of throughput healing. You're getting some these baby bombs, 15% shields. You're getting powered life, which is more mana efficient, able to use it below 50%. So you're getting a lot more of those. Your PSs are stronger. You're doing more healing to yourself, and just a lot more passive, just a lot more healing throughput help from premonition. So that is that on terms of the gameplay. So it's yeah, you guys get it. You can take your own opinion on it. Once these come out, we can mess around with them more. But so hopefully just Rift gets tuned before to give like a good better feedback on it, I guess. Oh no, this was playing the whole time. Crap. I had it on a game. Hold on. Not this game. All right, here we go. So just show you this little gist of the gameplay and how it works. It's not much different than retail. All you really do is just kind of doing the same what you normally would be doing anyway. You're just mind blasting into penance and then throwing in smites. So it's the same gameplay, it's just kind of more exaggerated, I guess. So throw mind blast out, make sure you penance off of it. I death this little sheep there, and then see, in case here I wasn't able to actually get any capitalization off of it, I should have get some void blast off. And the rifts are avoidable. They do have a slow component if they do connect, but there is like a travel time. So once people kind of catch on to just moving away from the rift, you're going to see a lot less value out of it, which is unfortunate. So that's why I'm kind of like shifting towards Oracle probably being the better shuffle / 3v3 spec in a lot of cases. I got my rift out, but then I got kicked. So kind of got screwed over on that. And the value of the rift on these are not great. I got lucky that this is a pet class. Like you see my healing's pretty high here. That is very likely just because the rift is hitting all of his pets. So yeah. But that's really kind of how the gameplay goes, and everything else is the same. You're pressing your shields, you're doing your radiances, you're just going to make sure that you just weave in make sure you're never letting Mind Blast sit on cooldown, and then you're following that up with a penance to make it grow larger. And yeah, so we got a rift. Okay, this Sansa actually got some Void Blast off, which is great. Take it off. I think I was playing Mindbender build in this one now. Same kind of, yeah, it's really just the same boat as Mindbender was in previously. If you can cast, it's very useful, but if you're getting micro CC'd all the time from DKs and DHs and all that stuff, or you're versing a high CC comp, it's gonna lose value pretty quickly. But yeah, I guess this wasn't the greatest game to really show you. Actually, maybe it was. Did we kill him? Hit him with that death. Hit him with that death. Another Mind Blast. Oh, AoE Disintegrate. Oh, we're dead. So, yeah, and this was kind of a good example of the pacing I was telling you about, where like it feels like you're fine, and like because the targets self-heal themselves, and then it's just like at some point here you just can't heal. Like 29% dampening is too much dampening, and this is with Warlocks having crazy self-healing. I still can't heal him, so he Healthstone's right there. It looks like, and then it's just done. I power life, try to get Ultimate Radiance off, but I've actually had multiple targets die during Ultimate Penance, which is not a case in retail. So again, healing, maybe a healing pacing issue. I don't know. We'll find out. But that's going to be it for today, guys. Let me know if you do have any questions about Disc Priest or what you want to see next. And thank you for watching. Peace out.